we often underestimate certain things in our childhood because we think, well, that's not the same thing as now, but that's where the foundations are laid. Hello. Hi, Prachi.
Hello, hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
Very good. So how can I help you today?
Actually, there is an internship drive going on in a college.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah. So there is an internship drive going on in a college, and I feel like I won't get internship or place. Yeah, that's
Right.
the issue. Like it feels like not going to happen for me.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go through the steps that you need to take, and then let's take it from there. So firstly, there's an internship at college, right? That you are, and
Yeah.
you feel like you're not going to get chosen for that.
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing is to ask yourself what's wrong with not getting placed anywhere. So, in other words, what will happen if you don't get chosen for this internship thing? And the reason to ask yourself that is to identify what's at the root of that worry, what it'll mean to you if you don't get placed anywhere. So can you think of that now?
Um,
What's the worst thing about it?
I won't be financially independent.
Right. Okay. So it's about being financially independent. Very good. And is this the only chance you have right now of being financially independent?
Yeah, actually, it's like the closest chance. They are coming in my college and they're hiring, so it would be better. It won't take a lot of effort to go searching for the job outside.
Okay. All right. And here's the thing is that it's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with hoping that you do get this one because it would be best. And that's absolutely fine. What we want to correct there, what we want to change there is the worry or the feeling like you won't get it. So my next question for you is how do you know that you won't get it? In other words, because you said you feel like you won't be placed anywhere. What makes you feel that? What makes you think that?
Whenever I think of getting placed, it's like I won't get it because I don't know. It seems like I'm not worthy for it.
Oh, very good. Good job, Prachi. And how do you know you're not worthy for it?
It's just a feeling I get. Like whenever I start to think about it, that's the first feeling or that's the first thought that pops up.
Good job. All right, very good. And so now my next question for you is, as you think of your childhood in general, so not necessarily to do with this feeling, what do you think of straight away? What's the first thing you think of as you think of your childhood in general?
It's just that in my family, there were a lot of fightings and all. That's the first thing that pops in my mind.
Very good. As you think of your mother, let's just take just your mother for the moment. What thoughts and feelings are there from your childhood regarding your mum?
Now I can't think of anything right now.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. You're on the spot a little bit. That's fine. All right. And anything from your dad?
He was very aggressive,
Very aggressive. Okay.
and we were like, when I was child, we were scared of him most of the
Mhm.
time because
Right.
if we didn't do anything, he would scold us, somewhat like that.
Okay. There it is. There it is. There's at least one reference for not being good enough, right?
Yeah,
We often underestimate certain things in our childhood because we think, well, that's not the same thing as now, but that's where the foundations are laid. So if you think about it, if you as a child, or if any child spends a large percentage, or any time really, but let's say a lot of the time, with at least one of the parents feeling frightened of them, then the brain is in that heightened alert state all the time. So you're
yeah,
filled with that child is filled with stress chemicals, which means prefrontal cortex is offline a lot of the time, so they can't think straight, which then also affects performance. And then everything is added in there. And depending on what other experiences, what other references are going on, this structure is built of I'm not safe because I'm not good enough because this person who I rely on to keep me alive is not pleased with me, and that's life-threatening. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yes.
So it's very possible that now you're an adult and you're wanting to get placed in this internship. And as your brain is registering, you have to impress someone. This person or this entity, whatever it is, this business or whatever, needs to see you as good enough to be able to hire you. Your brain is referring to your father, who you weren't good enough for, and then it's pumping the same stress chemicals into your system
Yeah. Yeah.
that make you think, I'm never going to be good enough. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Very good. So what we want to do is, of course, change those memories of your father to prove to your brain that you absolutely are good enough and that it's safe, right?
Yes.
So because what you want to do is get to the point where, sure, you do want that internship, of course you do, and there's good reasons for it, and that it's not a case of you want it and you feel like you won't get it. You're not worried about it. You're just thinking, oh well, hopefully I'll get it, and I'm going to do my best, and I have a good chance. That's where you want to be, right?
Yes.
Because that will affect your performance. So you're
Yeah.
going to have more chance of getting it if you're in that positive state of mind. You've got your prefrontal cortex online, all of that, and you're confident rather than already feeling like you won't get it. And I'm sure you do know that, but I'm kind of going through it for other people as well. So now I want you to pick one moment in time, the first thing that comes to mind, of a memory of your dad being the way he was, aggressive or disapproving. Do you have just one moment that comes to mind for you?
Yes.
Okay, and we're going to use that to
But
represent
it's
all of the others.
recent, not from childhood, but it's recent, like 2, 3 years back.
Okay, see if you can think of one from childhood, because the reason we go for childhood rather than more recent things, even though the more recent ones may be stronger, is because it's the childhood ones that are the roots. Those are the ones that are holding everything else up. And when we change those, then the later ones are either easier to change or they change automatically. So
Okay.
if you think, and if you don't have an actual memory, what you can do is just imagine the little you and then imagine your father with her. And what is the scene or what is the feeling, what's happening?
Yeah, I
You
got the
got it?
memory. I got
Very
the
good.
memory.
Good job. Good job.
Yes.
And so what is the feeling there in that memory?
I'm sad. He
That, yes.
scolded me for some reason and I was sad.
Very good, sweetie. And so now, how strong is that sadness? So 0 to 10, 0, I don't feel anything. 10, it's very strong. Where would you say that sadness is in that memory right now?
7, I guess.
Out of
7
7.
to
Very
8.
good job. So let's press pause on that memory. We're going to leave it over there. Now I want to ask you, what's your favorite color, Prachi?
Purple.
Purple. Nice. Good choice. It's mine too. So, and do you have something that you use as a subject for the little brain chemistry exercise? In other words, something or someone that you love.
Yes.
Very good. All right. So I want you to take a deep breath, close your eyes, and I want you to think first of all of your favorite color, purple. And it's the most beautiful shade of purple you've ever seen. It's gorgeous. And think of what you love about purple. What's so lovely about it? You got that?
Okay. Yeah.
Good job. Good. And now imagine being surrounded by that beautiful shade of purple. So it's all around you, and you can feel the feeling of that purple. You got that?
Yes.
Very
Yes.
good. Now I want you to think of your subject, so that person, animal, place, or activity that you love, and imagine holding it in your arms in a hug. Can you do that?
Yes. Yeah.
Very good. Good job. And notice the feeling in your chest or solar plexus, wherever you feel that love. Focus in on that feeling and imagine it as a ball of light or energy. You got that?
Yeah.
Very good. And now imagine that ball of light or energy spreading down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, and you're hugging your subject, and you're both surrounded by that beautiful purple. You got that?
Yes.
Good job. All right. So now press pause on that. And let's go back to that memory with your father. So there's the little you and there's your father. And the sadness was at a 7 out of 10. Where is it now? Is it the same? Is it different?
It's decreasing, maybe a 4.
It's good job. Very good. So it's about a 4. So let's press pause on that. Let's go back to the purple and hugging your subject. And what is your subject, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no, it's my friend. Like, she is the dearest friend to me.
Ah, lovely. And have you ever had like moments of laughter together where you've
Yeah,
laughed together? Very
yes,
good. So remember those. Feel that feeling of how fun it is to be together.
yes,
Very good. Good job. Now let's press pause on that. Let's go back to that memory with your dad. And
yeah.
sadness was a 4. Where is it now?
Yeah, it's gone.
Gone. Very good. Good job, Prachi. So now we want to change that memory. And I think it would be good to put a couple of stepping stones in here. So
Yes.
I want you to imagine giving that little Prachi, that little you, a magic wand. And
Okay.
as your father is scolding you, you wave that magic wand and your dad freezes and he can't move and he can't speak. Can you imagine that?
Yes.
Very good. And how does that feel to the little you to be able to do that? Can you look at the little you's face and what expression would, if you were to, if this was real, and the little you actually did have a magic wand as a child that you could freeze people, what do you think that you would feel if you were able to do that, if you had the power to do that?
I would feel like I don't have to tolerate anyone.
That's it. That's what we're going for. Very good. Now,
Yes.
just a reminder for everybody is that the reason this works is because the unconscious part of your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination, can't tell the difference, can't use logical reason, and can't judge something as unrealistic. So as you imagine you had a magic wand as a child and you were able to freeze people like that, the while you consciously know that's not possible, the unconscious part of your brain absolutely will believe it if you allow it to. And so using imagination to say, but okay, so imagine if that was true, what would it have been like? That's the beginning. And then allowing that to be the scene is what makes those changes. So you've frozen your father, and now what you want to do is that little you says to your father, now this is unacceptable, you're not allowed to speak to me like this, and
Yes.
I am not going to unfreeze you until you behave yourself. How would that feel?
Yeah, it would feel good.
Good, very good. And then you unfreeze him, and what happens?
He's like shocked.
He's shocked. Yeah, very good. And now I want you to imagine you wave the magic wand again, and this curse lifts from him. So, in other words, the way he was before, where he was scolding you and he was so aggressive and that wasn't really him. That was a curse he was under, like a spell he was under. And then
Okay.
you wave the magic wand and you can see that darkness in him lift and there's light. And he's so relieved and he thanks you for lifting the curse. Thank you for freeing him from that curse. Can you imagine that?
Yes.
Very good. Good job. And how would that feel for that little you?
She would be happy.
Yeah, very good. And would she feel safe?
Yes.
Good. Now, can you imagine your father hugging you and
Yeah,
saying,
I
thank you
already did
so
that.
much? Good. Very, very good. Good job. All right. Of course, this we've just kind of created this now. You'll want to practice this, repeat
Yes.
it until it's established. So for those who are new, every time you repeat a thought, that's neurons connecting, and you want to repeat as you do it more and more, the neural connections become established, just like learning a new phone number. So you want to make sure that you establish that new information now with the good feelings. So now the next step will be, I want you to imagine your dad. He's just there and he's doing something perhaps, and that little you walks into the room where your dad is. What happens?
He looks at me.
And what's the expression on his face?
He's happy.
Good, very good, Prachi. That's fantastic. Now I want you to add your mum into that scene. And what's the expression on her face?
She is also happy. She's smiling, seeing me.
Good job. Can you imagine them telling you how much they love you just for existing? They're so grateful to have you as their daughter.
No, it doesn't feel real.
All right, good job, good job. All right. So as you try to imagine that, what happens? What thoughts or feelings or memories come up that make it feel not real?
They have never said that to me in real. So
Right.
it's like that's not true for me.
Okay, very good. So now we want to answer that with the fact that the unconscious part of your brain doesn't know, they have never said that. So as you
Okay.
imagine it, the unconscious part of your brain believes it might as well be real. It's only the conscious mind that uses logic and reason and goes, yeah, that's not real. So when we watch a movie, for example, we feel the emotions as if what we're watching is real. And that's because the unconscious part of the brain is believing it and producing those chemicals that create those same feelings as if it was real. The difference is we most of the time we don't keep telling ourselves it's just a movie, it's just a movie, it's just a movie. But unless it's really scary or something. But then with stress chemicals, they're so strong that that doesn't even help. But with good emotions, because they're not, because feel good chemicals are not as strong as stress chemicals, because stress chemicals are for survival, it's easier to say, oh, it's just a movie, and then you don't feel it. In other words, with these new memories going, yeah, but that never actually happened, and then you don't
Yeah.
feel it. So it's about allowing yourself, answering that and going, yes, that's true. It's true they never said that to me, and they should have, but I know that they never did. But the unconscious part of my brain doesn't know that. And the reason I'm doing this is to change my brain. It's nothing to do with them. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yeah.
Very good. And another thing that helps with this is creating these new memories. In other words, imagining your parents saying those things to you as you giving a gift to that child you were. So
Yeah.
that little you deserved to be told that her parents loved her no matter what, and just because she exists, and they're so grateful
Yeah.
to have her. So now you are going to give that to you. How does that
Yeah.
sound?
Yeah. Pretty good. Yeah.
Very good. Good job, Prachi. So now can you imagine them saying that? And if you still can't, that's okay. Just let me know.
Yes.
Good. Very good. And
Uh,
how does it?
there's
Oh,
just one issue. I can't imagine my father's face.
okay. So it's just your mum at the moment. You can imagine doing that?
Yeah, like I can imagine my mom's face, but not my dad's face.
Okay. So as you try to imagine your dad's face, what are you getting instead?
Nothing, just a plain blank face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take a closer look at that. So you've got your dad in front of you, and it's just this plain blank thing. What color hair has he got?
Black.
Black hair. Okay. Now I want you to imagine putting a hat on his head. Can you imagine that? Let's say a cowboy hat. Can you put a cowboy hat on his head?
Yes.
Good. And now I want you to change that cowboy hat into a baseball cap. Can you do that?
Yeah. Yes.
Good, very good. And now I want you to make that baseball cap pink. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Very good. Now take the cap off and I want you to change his hair color from black to brown. Can you do that?
Yes.
Very good. Now can you change his hair color to blonde?
Yeah.
Very good. Now can you change his hair color to red?
Yeah.
Good
Yes.
job, Prachi. Very, very good. So now I want you to imagine putting a red nose on him, like a clown nose. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Very good. And now what's the expression on his face with the clown nose on him?
Yeah, he's laughing.
Good job, sweetheart. So just to explain for everybody, what we just did here was we just made the brain a little bit more malleable regarding this particular reference, which means we made some harmless small changes to that image in order to give the brain the feeling of it's safe to change this. There's nothing bad happened, and there's nothing dangerous here. And the more you make little changes like that, the easier it becomes to then loosen up the rest of data. So very good. So now let's go back to that scene where your mum and your dad are telling you how much they love you and how grateful they are to have you as their daughter. And can you imagine your dad's face now?
Yes.
Very good. Good job. And so again, you'll want to practice that, play that over and over to strengthen those connections. If you find it gets sticky again, just go through the, changing his hair, changing his
Yeah.
clothes, changing the hats, that kind of thing to loosen it up again. All right.
Yes.
And then once that's established, now I want you to think about the internship at college and what thoughts and feelings are there now. Is it still the same? Is it different?
It's neutral. There's no thought.
Okay, very good. Neutral. So now I want you to think about if you were to get this internship, what will it feel like? It'll feel good?
Yeah.
Good. And as you think of getting that internship, how likely do you feel it is now? Can you imagine that you could get it?
Yeah, I would get it. Like, I could get it. Yes.
Good, Prachi. Very good. So I want you to imagine you're going to wake up in the morning, one morning, whenever it is, and you wake up and you remember you've got that internship. How does that feel?
It feels like there's a lot of weight off my head.
Good. Very good. So I want you to allow yourself to feel that for the moment. And then I want you to imagine or come up with one phrase that you will say to yourself at that point. So it could be like, yes, I did it, or thank you, thank you, thank you. Something that expresses how you'll feel.
Yes.
You got something?
Yeah. Yes.
Good job, sweetheart. And now I want you to play that moment in time, just that one moment in time where you're saying the phrase and you're feeling the feeling, what it'll feel like. And what we're doing here physiologically is we are connecting that neural network and producing those chemicals, and we're connecting the phrase with the chemicals which produce the feeling of that one moment in time. And we want to establish that in your brain as a touchstone.
Okay.
I want you to keep repeating that over and over. Then, moving forward, whenever you think of the internship, immediately play that memory of your parents telling you how much they love you just for existing and how grateful they are for you. They're hugging you, and you can make as much you can make those details as much as you like to amp up the feelings. We want the strong feelings there, so that your brain again links the internship and the possibility of getting the internship with that strong proof in your childhood that you are good enough,
Okay. Yeah.
along with the touchstone that we just created. How does
Yes.
that sound?
Yeah. Good.
Very
Yeah.
good. So how do you feel now moving forward?
Yeah. I feel good. Like, I'm positive enough.
Very good, Prachi. And keep doing that. So keep up that momentum is what I mean.
Yeah.
Because a reminder for everyone as well, the brain has a natural tendency to focus on the negative, and that's part of the survival. So the brain automatically will look for the negative, and we have to manually override that and choose the positive. And these little tools, along with the new childhood references, help us to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Very
Thank
good,
you.
Prachi. You're very, very welcome, sweetheart. Thank you for bringing this question because I know it'll help others as well. And have fun.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.